2012 and sort of how you...
Yeah, I did ask my agents who were here not to send the book out, and then on the day the book came out, the lovely Cassie Evashevsky called me and she said, "Do you mind if I just send it to some people?" And I said, "Oh, they can buy it in a bookstore just like anyone." That was my level of enthusiasm for turning this into a movie. I just felt like it was going to be impossible for Hollywood to make a movie that didn't romanticize the story, that didn't present it in a gauzy, sentimentalized way. And I thought it'd be very hard to make a movie where the female romantic lead has a cannula in her nose the entire movie, and that made me think that they would make some horrific beast if they made it, which I couldn't imagine they ever would. Julie was like, "Oh, God!" Worked on that for years. They're just they're so brilliant at structure. I mean, they have such a profound understanding of how to chart an emotional journey through a story. And the miracle of the script to me was that not that it captured a lot of the dialogue or that it preserved a lot of the story points or whatever, none of which is hard, but like not that interesting to me. The thing that was so interesting to me and that I'd never experienced before reading a screenplay from an adaptation of one of my books is that it was tone. Like they captured the tone of the book, the feel of the book, the kind of vibe I wanted the book to have, and I have no idea how they did that, but I'm very grateful. Like I was just, yeah, so I just called Wick and I was just like, well, this is good, let's not change anything.
And I said, you gotta get this directing job. They don't have a director for The Fault in Our Stars. And he said, well, I don't know, but I can try. I'll never get it. Yeah, and then I think he just owed me, so he had to give me the part of Isaac, just as, he owed me, I gave him the script, he had to give me something back. How you guys doing? Thank you guys
You can tell Nat is a musician, because if it goes like 30 seconds without screaming, he's like, "What's wrong?"
The character, and we tested many girls. We probably read 200 girls, everybody you can think of. And I went to go meet Shay kind of the tail end of all this, and I still hadn't seen anybody who like sounded like Hazel and like captured her voice. And I went to Chicago to meet her when she was shooting Divergent, and I had dinner with her, and I loved her, and I left the dinner, and I was like, that's not Hazel. And then the next morning, we went to the audition, my casting director and I, and she came in, and like, within a minute and a half, I was just like, why did I make this so hard on myself? We just need to hire her, like, she's fantastic. And then, finding Ansel was doing chemistry. And Shay auditioned with the eulogy scene.
She wrote John a letter.
Oh yeah, it's a very long letter.
Oh yeah, no, it's like 40 pages long.
She told us about that in Georgia. She's like, I'm writing John a letter. Do you think it'll work? And we're like,
well,
luck.
So I didn't really know who she was because I'm not that in on young Hollywood, and I received a 40-page letter from a person whose work I wasn't familiar with, and so I wrote back a very brief response. That was, I hope, nice, but it was like, thank you very much for your interest in this movie. I am not a casting director. I wish you luck if you have the opportunity for audition tape. I was like, oh no. Oh no, and I called Quick and I was like, do I need to do something? Should I come out to LA or call her? And Wick was just like, stay where you are. We can handle this. We're fairly good at this.
Yeah, her audition was devastating. I mean, she was so good. I was crying. My casting director was crying. Like it was horrible, but it was great.
This crazy guy, you had all of the actresses reading that eulogy scene.
But I would have cast her. I would have cast her way faster if she had written me a 40-page letter.
And were you concerned at all about Ansel being in Divergent with Shailene?
We talked about it, but it wasn't anything we really, like, we were never like, no, because of that. He just came in and he was the guy who had her like off guard. Like she reacted differently to him than I think any other actor who came in. Like she really just responded to him in a different way, and he was so tall and like, he just made her small and more vulnerable, which I think was kind of great.
Like, the way that he charted that confidence, like the way that he imagined Gus's confidence, that was much more convincing to me because you could sort of see the cracks in it from the very beginning, which makes it a lot more interesting than a lot of the other people who were just straight on, I know that I am good looking kind of confident. And that's never how I imagined Gus. So I thought that was really compelling. And he did such a great job.
Yeah, one thing I was really impressed with working with Ansel was that it's really it's a tendency, especially I think with the young generation of actors, that's cooler to be subtler and smaller. And Ansel was okay with kind of because in real life people do put on a performance, and that character had to put on a performance, and he saw, but there was still the layer of reality, but he's in half of it he's putting on an act, and at the end you realize, oh, he's putting on an act, and that's kind of I think that was the you have so much hair product in your hair.
I don't know why. Of all the places you could have gone to, that was the wrong
Oh my God.
Should have just like right there.
How many days has it been since you washed your hair?
Shut up. I should ask you that question. When we were in the, I got my hair done for my part girl's father, which you won't see in the movie because it's not there. But I got my hair done, and while I was getting my hair done, I have to tell you this now in front of a bunch of people.
We can talk about this later if you want.
Oh no, the great hairstylist was like, boys these days just don't shampoo their hair as often. And I was like, which boys are you referring to? And she was just like, oh, just younger men generally. And I was like, well, there's just the two. And she was like, yes, that's why I said men, not man.
Well. I watched it last night.
You did a good job.
So obviously no one got along on set. This is clear. This is a very tight group, and you guys seem to get very, very close in Pittsburgh. As I wrote in Entertainment Weekly, there was a lot of tears behind what it was like to watch the book come alive on screen.
Well, I cried a lot. Partly because there are some sad parts, everyone did an amazing job of executing the sad parts. But I also cried a lot during the happy parts and the funny parts of the movie because I was so overwhelmed. I might start crying about it now. It's like all these people came together and they really shut up. They really loved the story. And everybody in Pittsburgh, almost everybody on the crew in Pittsburgh had read the book in addition to the script, and I just felt I felt like this story that I really cared about and that was very personal to me, instead of becoming diluted or becoming kind of less than it was when it only belonged to me, was becoming stronger and bigger and better, and that gift of all of these people who are so talented coming together and sharing it with this story, sharing their time and their passion with this story, was so special. And yeah, so I did cry all the time, but I was crying because it was just so overwhelming and nice. I just felt so honored and relieved and happy, and it's just been an amazing experience.
Nobody wants to kill us afterward. I've just always figured since John was happy, everybody else would be. So that was kind of the main thing for all of us.
I wish my whole life could be that way. That if everything were just oriented toward making sure that I was happy. That would be so lovely. Let's try to implement that. No, it's actually a really bad idea. It's not a good idea.
One question that I've gotten from people has been, what was the hardest part to film? Which seems like a simple question, but actually isn't. I know there's obviously very intense scenes, but Josh, what were you most worried about shooting, and what ended up being the hardest to shoot?
there was logistical stuff shooting outside in Amsterdam that just made things difficult. Where you know, there's a scene where Gus and Hazel are sitting on a bench in Amsterdam, and there's like boats passing by, and it was really loud, and I just felt bad for the actors because it was such an intense, emotional scene, and they had to deal with a lot of things that in an ideal world they wouldn't have to deal with. But I mean, they just still delivered it every time, and it was really impressive. You know, I mean, Nat and I were really worried about the trophy scene. I know we had a lot of anxiety about that, but then we went and did it, and it was fine. So,
I think obviously because they're his, you know, the characters are all his creations. There's a little bit of him in every single character. But also it's just great to, it was almost like having I hope you don't take this as a offense, but I mean in a good way, like a cheerleader there who would make us feel like, you know, who would make us feel like we were doing a good job. I mean, I know for me, I feel much, I think I'm much better when people are complimenting me and being positive, you know, and John was really supportive. You know, we'd finish a scene and it would be like the egging scene or something. It's a funny scene, and John would be sobbing. I'd say, "Why are you sobbing?" Because it's just like my book. It's like so. You know, it's just great to have that kind of support. So it made me also not nervous about doing justice to the book because we were doing justice to John.
Yeah, I mean, seeing him there every day and seeing him not upset just made us every day feel like everything was going to be okay and it was good.
Moment in the movie that was not in the script. There are two little moments in the egg throwing scene that were not in the script that are just magical to me, and I will always treasure, both involving Nat. I'm not just saying this because he's sitting next to me. A little bit I am, but I'm not just saying it because he's sitting next to me. One is when he hears Monica's mother, he throws the egg kind of behind him in an attempt to like not get caught.
Can I change mine? Girl's father.
Thanks, buddy. That moment is so adorable and human and just completely true to that character. I loved it. And then the other moment is when, you know, Isaac is a really funny person, but also a lot of times people make jokes about disability. A lot of times people make people with disabilities kind of the butt of the joke. But Isaac is just a funny person. He's not the butt of the joke. And there's a great moment, I love this moment, when he refuses to be the butt of the joke. When Gus says it's all dark to Isaac, and Nat is just about to throw the egg, and then he stops, and he turns around, and he says, "I'm blind, not deaf, and I don't love it when you make fun of my disability." I love it because it's like, not only am I not going to allow you to get away with that joke, I am funnier than you are. And I have a better joke. And here it is. I just love it. It's such an Isaac moment. Yeah. Other than that, he's terrible in the movie.
And thanks from the audience.
Stop. There won't be enough time, so now everyone back in their seats just for security purposes. Sorry. I'm paranoid about security. That's good. That's good. I love you guys, though. Thank you. Sorry. I feel particularly bad for you. Sorry. Thank you.
You should be writing now.
Can Nat write it for me?
Oh.
Nat's not very good at commas, actually. Continue to believe that commas are basically the very center of writing a novel. I don't know, man. I wish I had. I wish I do. I'm sorry. I am trying. I am really trying, I promise, and I appreciate that, and it's nice if you can, like, look at me and ask me to try harder. That will probably help.
I require that you try harder.
I'm gonna try. I will remember this moment. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
paper towns and the Fault in Our Stars have both been picked up. What do you think the chances for Looking for Alaska?
None of us up here control Looking for Alaska, but
Yes.
I have a feeling after next weekend things will look better for you.
They were just like they were wearing the exact same outfit because they had to be doubles for each other, and they were walking the exact same way, and they were standing. They got really tight, and they were almost like holding hands. It was very sweet.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you, John, first of all, for just writing the books. They were such a big. And thank you, Nat, for being born, because I've been watching the thing since I was like really young. So thank you. And my question is like, what was the hardest scene to film in the movie?
Can you guys stop, please? we have to film.
Yeah. It was like, it's 4:15 in the morning, and I'd like to finish the day now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As an amputee myself, I just wanted to say that I'd like to thank you, John, for answering a lifelong question of mine, which is whether during sex I keep my leg on or off.
Not go in the direction I expected it to go.
For most people, it doesn't. Now, my question is in regards to the love scene. Obviously, this is a very faithful rendition of the movie to the book. So, in regards to that scene, we're probably keeping a PG-13 rating, for sales and all that. But
that's exactly why there's a PG-13 rating.
So, in regards to that scene, I was just wondering how you can... Is that scene still staying in the movie? Well, obviously it can't stay completely faithful, but...
It's pretty faithful.
It is very faithful. You'll have to see it to find out.
It's going to leave something to mystery. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think he has a room full of dates already.
Yeah, he's not even able to walk out. He's been stopped 4 times already. And I said that it was the anniversary of her death, and we cried together a little bit, and then she told me that she'd watched dozens and dozens of Esther's videos, which was totally unnecessary, but very Shay. And I know that Esther meant a lot to her as she was thinking about Hazel, and yeah, and so I wish you were here. I wish you could see the movie, but I'm very, very grateful to her.
Hi, DFTBA.
DFTBA.
My favorite part in the entire book is when Caitlin asks Hazel, what is it like? And Hazel responds, to have your boyfriend die, it sucks. And Caitlin says no, to be in love. So I was just wondering, is Caitlin going to be featured in the film?
Scott, Mike?
You'll have to go see it.
John, not with John, but with the 11th Doctor. I've got to find a way to clear the rights with the BBC people, but that is my dream, if possible.
How do you feel about fan fiction about the movie?
Oh, how do I feel about fan fiction about the movie? Elizabeth, am I legally allowed to say that I like it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like it then. No, I think it's awesome. I'm so grateful to anybody who cares enough about the book to want to expand its universe.
So A, kudos to getting everybody to do LLAP, with probably like 5% of them not knowing what live long and prosper is. B, I left art with your publicist by the Tumblr user Annie Ree. She can't be here, but she sends her regards and says thank you so much for everything. And C, as a lighthearted final question, if you guys could cosplay, since we're at a convention, as anyone, who would you cosplay as?
It's where you dress up as a character. What is wrong with you people? Do you have the internet? Do you have flip phones or something? What do you do all day? Don't you have Tumblrs? Elizabeth.
Yes, John.
If you could dress up as anyone at a convention, who would you dress up as? Wick? We're all buying time, by the way. That's why.
Probably David Tennant.
That was clear pandering. That wasn't an honest answer, it was pandering.
I don't believe he's seen an episode of Doctor Who.
I'm just following your lead. Fan fiction.
David Tennant? That.
I'd go as Nat.
David Tennant.
I'd just like to apologize for my friends. I'm embarrassed on their behalves.
Hank, it's Tuesday.
I'd go as John Green.
Sorry, is how good you are at all impressions except for me.
Hank!
I don't like cover my ears. No, it's like this. Oh, this is such a fascinating and difficult question.
David Tennant.
No, I'm going to offer an honest answer, a real answer from someone who has done cosplay before. And it's apparently the only person that's who's been to a convention. Sarah, you have a good answer, I bet. Chewbacca? It's any character. It's costume play. It's if there is a costume that you can wear, that you can... Oh, for the love of God. I grew up a massive, played the role-playing game with my brother, fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I would go as Donatello.